Your microphone's not working on TikTok.
That's not good. You sure?
No, I'm not sure. That sounded fine. It just sounds echoey, like you're far away.
Oh no, I did the thing again. Hang on. There we go. I should actually draw like 1 and 2 on these. Because the other one will stay on inside of the charging box.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah. There we go. We figured it out. All right, hold the button for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything turns on. Let's roll up. Dong, 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 dong. I think we got Bluetooth audio.
Get banned on TikTok or YouTube.
I know. That's no fun. We don't want that. I'll walk into some boxes. That should do it. All right, let's see if we can get chat going. You guys are up here somewhere. Hi, Nassar, David. I can't pronounce that one. Installer. What's going on? And then this. Is this working? It is. Well, at least there's my live anyway, so we hope it's working. But I'll probably have to close it and reopen it a couple times, so we'll get started. Oh my God, it worked. Oh my God, it just worked. All right, so we're gonna get started. This thing is mostly prepped. I forgot my car's dirty. Oh, your car's fine. I appreciate that people are conscious about that. This is plenty clean. All right, so we're gonna take a 36-inch roll. We're gonna cut out these doors. No, we're not. Yes, we are. Uh-oh. I'm stuck. Hang on. Hang on. I can do this. I gotta have something sharp nearby. I don't have my knife in my belt, so I gotta get that. But I definitely have something sharp nearby, like always. Quarter Pro to the rescue. Which film today? We're gonna be doing, not Apex, C2 ceramic. 50 on the windshield, 35 on the front doors, 20 on the rear. Let's get some blades swapped. There's one. And then my plastic knife should be in here too. There it is, this one. Swap that one too. Make sure we get one blade. Dang, you're live again. It's like I swipe you every morning. It's a good, see, that's the way that, they work. You just be doing something and then, we pop up. That's when you're doing something right. Are you a full-time YouTuber now? I think I've been part-time forever. I think I had dreams of being full-time, but I don't quite have that ambition. I get distracted with too many other things. Where's my safety cutter? There we go. All right, we're gonna double cut these. I've been having trouble tucking tint into seals. Don't cut your patterns too long. That's the biggest hang up I see people have. So I'll show you how long we're gonna make these patterns. So let's trim this off. And then since we're using a 36-inch roll, I'm gonna put out this much blade and we're gonna cut the bottom like a side edge. Let's get back over here. Trim that off. Let's see, live streams, manage. Goodbye. Oh, thanks for the rose. All right, and then we're gonna trim this front edge. Doesn't matter if you do the front edge or the back edge first, but you're gonna trim one side and then we're gonna move it in that direction. So we're either gonna slide it forward or we're gonna slide it back depending on where we cut it. Drag it forward about that much. And go back to this side, about like 1/4 of an inch. We're gonna trim this back side. Trim that away. C2 ceramic versus Pro Nano, which one's easier to shrink? They're gonna be pretty comparable. Pro Nano is gonna be a little bit thicker, but it's a great shrinking film. So like the difference between Pro Nano and Apex is like they're both 2 mil films. One's a carbon ceramic, one's a dyed ceramic. So Pro Nano is gonna be faster overall. With C2 ceramics, it's a 1.5 mil film. They're really similar. Okay, so let's look at these side edge and the bottom. So on the inside here, my seals are basically matched up. So like the outside seal and the inside seal, they're like almost exactly level. So what that means is that if I drag this down, it's going farther and farther into the seal. So I've only pulled it down a very small amount. If I dragged it all the way down to, let's say the bottom here, that's gonna go like a full inch, 1.5 inches into the seal. That's gonna be really challenging to tuck. So you just need to sneak it into the seal. You don't have to go very far. Now for this top edge, I'm gonna go away from the mirror this time. Sun strip. Oh, thanks for the roses. Appreciate it. I want to do a small sun strip on the windshield. Do you generally need to shrink those? No. No, and a lot of times, any small fingers that might pop up, so you might have something to, like if it's a ram, for example, those are pretty curved corners. You could heat those out on the inside. Those are like one of the curviest ones that I would run into. All right, we're gonna straighten these out. It's an M2 F87. You're talking year, make, and model, brother. Does tint have to be applied in a heated garage? No, it just needs to be above freezing. There we go. So we double cut, which means we have two patterns right now. We still need to shrink them. I'm going to separate them first. If you want to shrink them together, that's up to you. I, for whatever reason, don't. How can I get the tiny adhesive off my window with a tiny razor blade? Let's do one at a time. I swear if I don't shrink them both now, I'm gonna forget. We'll see. Is baby bubbles on every window in my tint? I paid $250. Is this normal? Kind of. So that's everybody's got a different level of quality. So generally when you're on the cheaper side of things, which $250, I don't know how much work you got done for $250. It'd be a lot for like 2 doors, but a full vehicle, it's cheap. It's very common to get a bunch of that. SRT with $1, thank you, appreciate it. Yay. So I just pulled the tint back, took the heat gun. I'm like 3 or 4, no, maybe about 4 or 5 inches away. And I'm just moving that heat back until I get this gradual like smile in it. What it does is it pulls just that very bottom section. Not up here, it's not like halfway in the window. It's just right here at the bottom. Curl it a little bit, and now it's ready to install. Ooh, core updates. Let's do that now. Next. Is it doing it? Oh, that was fast. I was like, yay, I can have it update while I do something else. I remembered this time, but it looks like it updated before I walked back to the car. Do a backflip. All right, we're gonna do it. Ready? Ready? There we go. We did it. We did it, chat. We did backflip. Can you do a front motion? I can't, I'm sorry. I'm at 240 for carbon, regular sedans. I'm at 240 for regular sedans. A lot of places are 350. Yep, that type of stuff is pretty normal to hear. Where can I purchase Datras? I genuinely don't know anymore. I think it's hard to come by. I still have, like, it's not a very popular product. The use case for it isn't quite very strong anymore. I have an old roll. How much do you think is windshield replacement on a car? It varies too much now. Windshield replacement has gotten hilariously expensive. So sometimes $250, sometimes $1,500. Mine is $1,200, yeah. Yeah, it's wild how much it varies. Even Tint doesn't have that much of a spread on it. You can toss my stuff in this trunk. Appreciate it. $600 for a 19 Kia Forte. Yeah, see, that's where it's like, wait, what? Dude, it's a Kia. It's a Forte. What can I use instead of Datrix? There's not really a good solution. Glue. Glue is like what a lot of people would use. It was just messy. I like Datrix though. So I don't know. I would actually try and call suppliers. So if they don't have it listed on their website, you might be able to find a supplier that could at least point you in a direction. Sun Distributing was about all I knew that actually carried it, though. Dang, these are tighter than I thought they would be. Yeah, sensor recalibration is a big part of it. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do. So you have to like, if you have a sensor, which most vehicles do now, on the front of your windshield, and you replace the windshield, if they give you a sweet deal, they might not have done a recalibration. But to do one, you have to have specialized equipment, a computer subscription, and you need like 2 car lengths in front of you to like line up your QR code on the wall on like this special calibration rig and then run your software. So you have to measure everything and make sure it's all squared in like 3D space. It's kind of a pain in the butt. If you're not a shop that like does it in-house. Okay. Safe light recals are like 700. Holy shit, really? Dang. So I tinted for a place called Symbol. They would charge $350 and they would get charged $250. I would have bought the equipment. But their excuse for not buying the equipment is like everything's changing really fast, so it might just OEMs just might make it more economical. That's crazy though. $750 to $2K to do a fucking recal. Wild. Safelite has their own proprietary software? No, the OEMs do. Like, they're gonna work either with the company. I mean, I can understand that maybe Safelite has, like, their own subscription. But, like, you don't have to be part of Safelite in order to recal something. There's no way. I would like to put on the UV blocking film on my old E39. What do you think is the going rate for a front windshield replacement? Plus, dude, I have no idea. I could tell you tint. I couldn't tell you windshield replacement. What's the going rate? So on just a windshield, we would charge in the neighborhood of 150 to 250. But windshield replacement, it's like, sometimes you can't even find the glass anymore. How do you feel about AutoZone tint? I mean, I would get it to play around with, but I wouldn't take it seriously. It's too expensive, though, for what it is. Like, you're not getting, it's like the worst of everything. You're like overspending on a bad product. If your top edge is lined up, does that mean the pattern is on the sides as well? Well, yes, mostly, but I'll double check that. So I'm gonna look on the top, but I also will double check the sides just to make sure. Where do you get the tint? The tint store. Have you dropped a tri-edge behind a door panel? Yeah, I've done that before. That kind of sucks. Like, no. I suck so bad trying to tuck the window seal. You just gotta, like I said, you just gotta cut it a little bit shorter. It's still a skill. Like, you still gotta learn how to do it, but a lot of people would cut their patterns like way too long, and that would make it harder to do. Let me look. Can I tint over tint? I feel like our pattern slid. Hang on. There's a ballpark to get tinted windows on a sedan. Without a windshield, we start at $290. Oh shit, I think it did slide. Oh, no shit. think I gotta recut my patterns. It did slide. How about that? My whole pattern went like this when I rolled it up. So this pattern is actually no good. Same thing for the other side. It like mostly fit. I don't want to say anything yet because I wanted to be sure. But I just noticed it after I wiped it all down and cleaned it up. It's a little short here, a little shorter than I want it to be. And then this, not good, but it lifted. So we're gonna do this one again. Why so light? It's 35. The camera though, see how like, watch my hand. Bring it, see how that? Camera always makes the tint look lighter than it actually is. But once we get it all tinted, closed up, it'll look a little bit darker. I'm gonna redo the driver's or passenger door and cut my patterns again. Something slid. Likely when I rolled it down. I just didn't notice it happen at the time. So it wasn't that far off. I just liked it to be in a slightly different spot. What do you use to clean the windows? Typically just my soapy water solution. It's on hand, does a good job. That's what's getting installed anyways, or we're using for install, so it's just convenient. What's the point of the tape? You know, on this one, it's not really gonna make much of a difference. There we go. How come you don't cover the entire side? On the seals, because the entire side doesn't matter. Not in Detroit, Sterling Heights. You are right. It's like being, like there's a lot of stores in a lot of cities like that where they'll call themselves the main city just because search, it's easier. All right, let me grab a new piece of film and we'll cut it out. This is a bad thing about double cutting. If you screw up one pattern, you screw up both your patterns. It's this roll, right? 35. What is important sauce? I don't really know. It's not, I don't know what it is. I know what it does. It's like a gel. I like the idea. I think the idea is really cool. Spraying something thicker around the edges to help with water running into your work, it'll help. It would definitely help your averages. It's like what we do with the tape. Like, why do you tape the sides? Because if there's dirty seals, you just tape over them, especially felt. Let's glide this over. Why didn't you get a plotter? What's that? What's a plotter? Yes, we are tinting. You know, I never looked. I wonder what TikTok says we're doing. It cuts your film. What? There's a machine that cuts your film? That's crazy. I don't think that exists. How come most places don't use 15? Just to keep inventory down. I carry it. So if somebody wants 15, no problem. We got you. But if somebody is just unsure of what they want, generally you don't want to be overly confusing. I've had people at other places I've tinted, they'll take 20, 30 minutes trying to figure out if they want to go with 15 or 20. They have automatic templates for cars. I don't believe you. I don't think that's the case. I think you're making that up. Chat, do they have machines that cut tint for you? I don't think that's a thing. I've been tinting for a long time. I've never heard of that. Chat's pretty split on this one. Yes, look up plotters right now. Absolutely not. I'm going to take that guy's word for it. Somebody said absolutely not. I have one right in front of me. I might have to look into them then. Why don't you have a plotter at such a big shop? I don't know. This is just the first day of me hearing about it. I didn't know they were a thing. I still don't really believe it though. I don't know. If I had one, I definitely wouldn't be doing this right now. I'd be saving days worth of time. Did you bring me coffee? Thank you. See, like this. Why would I waste my time doing this when I have, if there's machines I can buy pre-cut from Amazon? I might start doing that. That sounds pretty cool. I'll figure out what shades my customers want and then tell them they gotta wait 2 days for shipping or whatever it's gonna take. Hang on. So I wanna look this up really quick. Plotters. Let's see. Are plotters or tint real? no shit. Oh, it's an ad. Oh, they got me with an ad. Hang on. Once we get past this ad, we'll be able to, because it shows somebody's got a video on it. But, okay, now I can skip. Hey, it looks like me. What? Oh, you guys. It does exist, just Googled it. Yeah, I mean, I just ran into a video of myself. Why don't you use it? You guys missed the last stream. Some days we do this, some days we do that. It depends. We're going to use it for the rear. But, you know, sometimes I actually like to hand cut stuff. Trolling? It's crazy. I'd never do that. 100% serious all the time. I just love it. Why don't you have one? How come you don't use it? I get asked, so anytime I don't use it, I get asked why I don't use it. And anytime I use it, I get asked why I hand cut. I just like both. Is that legal? Is that okay? So a lot of times, hand cutting, you're gonna get the exact cut that you want every time. Like the exact fit. Well, maybe not, because I messed up that one, so shame on me. How come you don't have a peel board on the other side? That's a good question. I should. I want to get one of those roller ones. I just haven't bought one, and I don't have a good reason, other than like, I just didn't feel like buying one when I looked at it. Because I have to get it, and then I have to order the glass, and I just get distracted with other stuff. I'll get it. All right, let's see if this one fits this time. All right, so we'll tuck that side in. We'll pull this back, flatten this edge out, and we'll slide this. It goes on the inside. Oh, shit. I should probably start doing that then, huh? I think that looks pretty good. Let's double check our pattern on the outside. That looks good. That looks good. Sweet. We're covered. I've been doing it wrong for 18 years. I know, right? They just come in here for 3 seconds. Can tint go on the soft top's back window? As long as it's glass. If it's not glass, then no. So on a Jeep, no. On like a Corvette or a Mustang, yes. How do I tell the difference between, oh, like ceramic, metallic, regular, like how do I know the differences? You kind of just have to ask a GPT, start doing whatever research that you can. But to simplify a little bit while you're here, we're installing a ceramic film. Doesn't matter if you hear the term ceramic or nanoceramic. They're all gonna basically be the same there. But ceramics can differ in quality. So you can find a cheap one that'll be fairly hazy or potentially fail much earlier. And you have your expensive ones, which would generally be more clear. Have a company that actually like honors warranties. But as far as the different film types go, dyed is going to be like the longest running way that they made window film. Simple, colored polyester is all it is. Then, for a little while, they had metallic films, and it was a way of getting a little bit more performance, but it would impact signals, so they didn't become very popular. And then carbons came out. Carbons and ceramics came out around the same time. And they basically replaced the dyes. There we go. So on your low end, you're gonna have dyed, doesn't block heat. Carbons, up from there, will block some heat. Metallics are kind of in between dyed and carbons. They're really more of an alternative though. And then up from there, you have your ceramics, which are just gonna block the most amount of heat. So the best for performance are gonna be ceramics. Ta-da! We did it, chat. Yay. We tinted a window. All right, let's do some more windows. Do you prefer adjustable fan tip? I keep going back to the cone tip. It really doesn't matter which one you use, but I like the adjustability of a cone tip for my sprayer, so I kind of settled on that. I have the Apex Ceramics and it's saying how much heat it blocks out, right? That's a really nice film. This is 35. We're doing 35 in the front, 20 on the rear, and then 50. We're gonna do 50 on that full windshield there. I wanna make sure I'm gonna get less tangled here. Okay, let's try and leave one stool on one side and grab another stool for the other side. I have a 57 Bel Air. I'm very happy for you. I don't want to see it in my shop. No, thank you. Coffee. Oh, what time is it? 10:30. Oh, it's early for coffee. We gotta wait a little bit. All right, let's continue. So we got the passenger side cut that's ready to install. We could, let's put this back in the box. We could cut the passenger side and just finish up this side before we go over. I typically do front doors, then back doors, and then rear, but mix it up a little bit. We're near the end of the roll on this one. That's the reaction I get. Why are you not doing the... Just look at the windows, man. The windows on that thing are nutty. Very cool car. Right? It's all rounded. Rounded is the worst shape for tinters. We like flat windows. But it goes beyond that. It's what they used to do on old cars. So it's a mix of being very curved and then nowhere to really tuck the film. So on modern cars, you have this nice frit border around the whole thing called a dot matrix, and you can basically slide the tint behind that. On those cars, they're gonna have like an old butyl seal. It's just a pain in the butt to do. A bubbly pile of dog. How much to charge to redo tint on a normal Honda Coupe? To remove it, we're $250 on all the sides and rear. And then whatever the retint cost is. Does the C2 ceramic impact signals? No, none of GeoShield's films will. That was like an old metallized thing. And another note on that, it'd be interesting to try even like an older metallized film, but we're talking about the days where AM radio, AM and FM radio were like the main things people listened to. Like XM radio was becoming a thing. That's when metallized film was popular. So for that to like carry over now, it's like, bro, I got Wi-Fi on my phone. Infrastructure's better. I highly doubt that any type of signal degradation would really matter in most areas. I can't say for everywhere. If you live out far and phone signals suck, then yeah, anything that impacts that would probably be worse, so just don't get a metallized film. But you kind of have to go out of your way to get a metallized film now. Yeah, you guys remember that? Actually, we still have the radio playing sometimes. Around Christmas time, November 1st, we have a radio, was it November? It should be November 1st. There's a radio station that's supposed to change over to Christmas. We leave that same station on all year, waiting for November 1st. I'm watching from North Korea. Dang. Get out. All right. Tint for a 22 Kia Forte without a windshield. The ceramic that we're installing would be $350. With the windshield, $550. In carbon, $450. It's probably our only fan out in North Korea. How often do you cut yourself? With a blade, hardly ever. But with the actual tint, every once in a while, because like you'll get a paper cut with tint. Like, so if you run your hand just like, that's when you'll get a paper cut. All right, let's see how this matches up. Probably have to trim it just a little bit more. That looks pretty good, a little bit shorter there. So this round, I want to round off just a little bit farther. This end, looking good. How do you know if you're getting good ceramic film from a shop? You can ask them. No, that's actually not a good. You just don't want to get bait and switched. Generally, if you go to the shop with, like, if you're like, I'm not sure where to go, and you start calling around, you're gonna hear a range of quotes. If you go for the cheapest, typically that means mediocre things and sketchy things can happen. So I just wouldn't do that. There we go. How do you call cars without what? How do you? Oh, fish bowls. The fish bowls is the most common term that I hear. I hear that from customers. Like, a lot of them will say it looks like a fish bowl. Looks good. Yeah, 550 is what we're charging on this one too. So most vehicles fall within a particular range for me. If it's everything at the windshield, they're going to be 450, 550, or 650, depending on the film that you go with. If we're not doing a windshield, in most cases, they're going to be 299, 350, 450. My fiance's car came with a certificate after getting tinted. Dang. That sounds fancy. I kind of like that. Have you ever ordered, like sometimes you get like technical equipment and it'll have like a check sheet. Like it went through a checklist. Be kind of funny or cool if you wanted to just like unnecessary, but a certain level of like, oh yeah, that's legit. You could take like measurements on the windows before and after and give your customers like a data sheet with actual readings and like a little signature certificate. Boom. Right now we just give them a microfiber and glass cleaner. Okay, I still gotta do the driver's side, right? So we're on this side. What else do we need? A blade. What brand tint? I mean, I'm using Geo, so I'd recommend Geo. We got these door covers, panel guard. This job seems pretty chill. It can be. It's not. A lot of places it's not. But I like when it is. Is there better soap? There is. It's called Tint Slip, but it depends on the film that you're using. If you find your tint sticks a lot when you try and apply it, Tint Slip has an extra kick to it. Baby shampoo is good. I used it for a number of years. When I switched to Avery NR, baby shampoo was not slidey enough. I would add like a lot of baby shampoo and it still had sticking issues. So Geo, it's not the same, but it had that similar type of stick. So Tint Slip helps with that. What microfiber? We source our own purple ones, and the gray ones were from the rag company. They're like Eagle edgeless. I was using Costco ones for a long time, and I didn't realize how many fibers they would leave behind compared to like other nicer microfibers. Costco ones are, you can't beat it for the money. There we go. Slide this in. Pull this back. The purple ones we have on the site. The gray ones, I like those because they'll soak up a little bit more water. The purple ones are thinner. They're better for just like glass cleaning. But I'll still use whatever I have on hand. Nice. To use a plotter. What's that? The gray ones? No. Gray ones got expensive. Unfortunately. They used to be. But like, I don't know. They just got expensive. Are you guys partners with Expel? No. Cool company. Definitely not a partner with them though. I don't like some of the things that they do. So like, I have a lot of respect for them. They're fantastic. They dump a ton of money into marketing. And they try and create a nice uniform image amongst their dealers, which I think is very smart. But they're a little too oppressive and controlling for my liking. What are you spraying? Acid. Here's this clip. Was it from the IT crowd? That's an old one. What happened to your legs? Acid. What bottle are you using? I have a Tint keg. It's a 3-gallon sprayer keg. $50 fronts, 35 rear section. That's actually kind of annoying. Michigan, you can go as dark as you want on the rear, and nothing on the fronts except the top 4 inches, unless you have a doctor's note. Why do I see so many cars with bubbles in their tint? Because there's a ton of people that shop purely based on price, a lot of installers that try and find the cheapest thing that looks like window film, and then it all fails. So like when I pull a car outside, the sun is constantly wearing film, solar energy. So if I take a t-shirt and I just leave it laying outside, the sun within a matter of days is gonna fade that t-shirt. So that's what's happening to your window tint all the time. Polyesters fade, glues fail. So you actually need like decent materials so your film doesn't just turn purple and bubble and fade. Plus there's a bunch of shitty installers too. There is that. Cop pulled me over for 20% fronts. He said it's not legal because it's darker than 35 in Michigan. The Michigan state law is a little confusing. Tell him to go look at the law again. 35% has to do with reflectivity. So he's not wrong in saying that it's illegal, but they have this like weird note. Like windows can not be more than 35% reflective. Well, we're not really installing reflective films, but that used to be more common years ago. So GeoShield will not bubble at all on back windows as long as it's installed correctly? Yeah, and if it does, it's protected. So like me as a shop, I'm installing a film that a company is telling me is guaranteed to not bubble. If it bubbles, guess who I'm calling about that issue? I'm calling Geo. Geo is gonna comp me for that issue. So I'm still responsible for replacing it. But like that's how that chain works. Customer comes to film company, or comes to film installer, installer talks to film company. And then everybody should be happy if there's an issue. Is that liquid that you're spraying running down into the door panel? Yes, sir. It definitely is. And then he just didn't explain anything further. All right, so we're gonna scrape this bottom section. And then we're gonna scrape this top section. And we're gonna wipe this top edge off. These are laminated. All right. Squeeze this off, top to bottom. 25 cars in a day with 2 installers. Dang, that's a land speed record right there. When you get good people and a good process, you can get a lot done in a day. Water. So much water going into the doors. Okay, so when we are tinting, water does run in between the door, but you have a protective plastic barrier in between the window that rolls up and down and anything else that's on the inside of the door, for the most part. So when your window rolls up and down, it's on the back side of that protective barrier. And so that's all connected to like a mechanism, and that goes like up and down. So if you like look at it, here's my door panel. My window is going to fit somewhere in here, and there's going to be holes. So like see like this spot. See how the water just like run down there? Water running there is really no different than it running inside here. But yeah, cars are made to be somewhat water resistant. They sit outside, temperature changes, condensation. You know, you walk outside and your car's covered in dew. Like, there's all that kinds of stuff happening all over your car. But it's okay. If we actually destroy a car, we're doing it live on stream. So you can clip it and post it to all your friends and say, lol, this dumbass window tinter destroyed this car on stream. People don't realize that when it rains, water also runs in the door. Yeah. It didn't really click with me. Like, I didn't realize that until, like, some of the comments that I would get off of just a video. There's people that can't distinguish the outside to the inside. Like, and that's just kind of normal. So what really made me surprised was people think that, wow, where'd that, nice, okay, what did I touch on this car? When it, okay, like everything on the outside is the same as everything on the inside. So if I tint a car and it looks dark, that means it's that dark on the inside and somebody can't see through it. So like, it was funny. I would show a video of tinting the front doors in a certain shade. Then you close it up and it's like, you can't see through. Or like, I wouldn't say that, but it's like, you can't see into the car. And just somebody scrolling past has no idea and thinks that it's that dark. So when they're driving down the road, they think like any car that they pass by that they can't see into, the person that's driving it can't see out of it. And it's like, oh, no, that's not how that works, but no way people are that dumb. I was surprised too. Read through the comments. So when we're tinting something and we get a barrage of people that say, doesn't that go on the inside? Water destroying the panels. It's like there's all these generic, similar assumptions that people just make. And yeah, that's definitely one of them. It actually made me start to change the way that I made videos. I made them a little bit more simple because of that. And then I started getting better views and better comments. But a big reason why we actually cover door panels today was because of the sheer volume of comments. Like if I don't cover a door panel, your average person scrolling by is like, they just see water on a door panel and you're like, you're destroying that car. And I can explain it all I want. It doesn't matter. They've already made up their mind. I've always wondered how tint. So the way that it works is by sheer luck. So tint is actually the same percentage on both sides. And then if I go on the outside and look through, like it's the same percentage on both sides. But there's no light on the inside of the vehicle. So that when you enclose it all, that's why it looks as dark as it does. That's why it's easier to see through. It's because the brightest light source wins. I don't cover door panels. I used to not. And most of them are fine if you don't. The biggest area that you always want to make sure you cover is going to be the switches. But yeah, just because water runs down a panel, it doesn't mean that it's hurting anything. If anything, they're just going to get a cleaner door panel in most cases. There's going to be some materials that are water sensitive. But yeah, for the most part, you're never going to have an issue. But we religiously cover them because as soon as I stop, I get lit up for it. We should do an experiment, but I know what's going to happen. We should like cover every door panel except one, and then whoever hangs around the live stream can be in on it. And then I just want you guys to watch chat. Do people leave their cars and come back, or is there a waiting room? Both. We have a waiting room. A lot of people are going to drop off, especially when we're doing a full windshield, just the amount of time that it takes. But we have a waiting area up in there. Bro got bullied into covering door panels, 100%. If you look behind the scenes in most tint shops, they don't look like this. Don't do that. I hate when it does that. Why stick? If I could change one, there we go. If I could change one thing about Geo's entire friggin' lineup, it's that little stick sometimes that it does. There we go. Free it up. And now it tucks in there fine. Seeing your shop is what's making me work harder to have one day? Oh, dang. Appreciate it. Little folds, so like in this area where the tint bends upwards, yeah, you can heat those out. Do you ever pull seals? Very rarely. Does the water have a soap in it? It does. And for the most part, everything slides nice. But I mean, the seals kind of act like a squeegee, so when you press it into the sides, that kind of stuff, like it'll pinch and kind of squeegee the film against the window. So sometimes it gets stuck pretty bad. Does Geo sell to anyone, or do you have to be verified? No, it's a good and bad thing. That's one reason I like them, though. So, like, what I like about Geo is that they are accessible. They have a good film, a lesser known brand, but they'll have films that'll go toe to toe with any major film manufacturer company. Any film that's charging like 2, 3, 4x the price of theirs. Ooh, this is gonna be tricky. It really pinches right here. We will see if this survives. Oh, I think we fucked it. Let's see. Or are we okay? Damn, I haven't ran into something like that in a while. Is it possible to crease the tint? Funny time to ask that question. Definitely. Right here, this reminds me, like I haven't ran into this in a little while, but yep, right down there. It's not laying flat. It's like, I think it rolled over on itself a little bit. So see that? This little guy? That little, what's gonna happen is that. And then See that? See that happening? All from that little, it didn't want to lay down because it just got pinched. So now we have to redo this one. But that's a film failure in real time though. So some places will try and heat that up, press that down. Sometimes it's just the pressure of the seal pushing back on it, but for the most part, it's an actual, like, it's hard to tell, but the end of it rolled over. So we're gonna cut a new one. One thing I'm gonna do on the next pattern though, is I can round that corner a little bit farther. And then I'm not trying to slide as much tint down into that corner. Because I don't need to, like, I just need to cover it. I don't need to put the tint like half an inch down into that corner. So it's going a little bit farther, but it just was very tight. Super glue it. No, it's toast. It was a good visual though. You could actually see, like, every time the window rolled down, that seal is pushing back up on the film. It was still wet, so that's gonna happen faster. But we don't like that to happen. All right, there we go. Let's go trim the edges. Wait, why are you doing it on the outside? Oh, here we go again. All right, I'll show you what I'm gonna do to the lower corner since it does pinch so tight. So this is completely up to you. You don't have to do this. But this lower corner, if I round this farther, it's still getting tucked into that corner, but I'm gonna have an easier time tucking it in that area too. So most of the time, there we go. Most of the corners don't need much of a round. You're just trying to take the sharp point off of it. But if you do run into that issue of like, hey, I'm trying to tuck it down to the bottom corner, and it just seems like it's pinching really tight, you can round it a little bit more. Or you could pull a seal. That's another way of handling it. All right. Now we are all set to install again. Let's do it. Door panel. Not really gonna hold on there anymore. Why shrink the front window? There's a curve in the window. So we gotta get the tint, the door tint. Ooh, that was a bad one. All right. Slide this into the seal, and then we'll try not to get it stuck this time. Hey, that went better. And we're gonna flatten this out. Slide it back this way. Oh, did I speak too soon? Damn it, I spoke too soon. I'm not saying there was a change. Here, let me get that. There we go. Something like that. What kind of film? This is C2 ceramic. GeoShield. No. I mean, sometimes it does need soapy water, but not in that case. That case, it's just a mix of things. Because it's sliding on the window fine. I don't have an issue with that. But if it gets pushed a little bit into the seal, on this one it has a tendency to grab. But it's not grabbing everywhere. What's annoying, what's frustrating me is sometimes it'll pick like one little spot here, and it doesn't matter how hard I'm gonna pull to like drag it back out. It's just stuck. Why do you prefer GeoShield over 3M, Expel, or Lumar? Should I go one by one? Okay, why do I prefer GeoShield over 3M? I haven't looked at 3M in a little while. They had an FX line that I think was more competitive on price. But if I want to install ceramic, most people, like, their best ceramic film is going to be over $1,000 a car. It's going to be crystalline. I'm going to have to price it over $1,000. That's a little ridiculous. The other thing, but I haven't looked at them in a while, was we used to install 3M Color Stable, and it was very blue. So when somebody came in and wanted a factory match, front doors to the back, we then did it, in the shade that came closest, they would complain because they were like, why is it so blue? And we're like, that's just the way that 3M color stable looks. They're like, oh, I don't like that. And they're like, okay, let's use one of the other films then that we install. I just think they're kind of expensive for the quality that you're actually getting. I don't think you're getting any better quality. Lumar, I like the idea of their Formula One program. But again, you're kind of spending, what, on average, like 60 to 80% more for like an average roll of film to get the same type of result that I'm getting now. Another thing is Lumar, no, that's more of a like people thing. They're just like less accessible. They're kind of that big, like, arrogant corporate. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. XPEL, I think XPEL's grown an awesome brand. I think they have attractive programs, but I know the manufacturer that they get their film from, and I'm getting, again, the same type of film for like way less money. But XPEL did a couple things that I don't like. One of them was the way that they introduced window film. They were a software company. Then they started selling paint protection film. And then to get more traction like to build up their dealer base, they let everybody use their software. And the way that they sold their window film was basically like, hey, it's global, which was a very liked and trusted brand at the time. It's global, but with better branding. So a lot of people ended up switching over because it was attractive and it was easy to switch over. But then they started clamping down on dealers. So like, let's say you got in early and you liked the film. If you weren't their ideal image, or there was a bigger company, bigger shop near you that wanted to use their brand, they would cut you off. And then they cut off their software. So it was smart. But they basically let a bunch of people use their software, build up their name, and then weed out the people that they didn't want anymore. So again, I'm not getting any better products by switching over to them, but I'm spending more on products. What I'd get with them is their marketing, and that's what they're really good at. Can we experiment with you with not covering the door with plastic? Yeah, on a future stream we can. We'll just tint a few doors, and then we'll do one without it being covered, and we'll just see what happens with chat. Yeah, XPEL has a clause that you can't use any other brand, but there's, yes, if you're XPEL and they have that product in a category, you are required to use theirs. So if you are a ceramic coating shop that does window tint, you have to use their ceramic coating and you have to use their window film. So from like a consumer's point of view, it's nice because there's total uniformity between shop. What they really want to do is create the same type of experience. So when you go to an XPEL shop in Texas, or you go to an XPEL shop in Michigan, they're going to be very similar. XPEL isn't even good. They have decent products, but they're not going to be significantly better. They're just really good at marketing, so they create an attractive brand. But they've also had to do a lot of really annoying things. Like now because they're trying to sell more and more film, so they bought up Permaplate, which is a dealership preloading program. So they're basically created self-competition between XPEL shops and local dealerships. Because like if somebody can buy a new car and just get it preloaded from the dealership, why would they take it to you? But they also got into the Tesla program. That was a pretty big W. You know what to expect from shop to shop with XPEL? Mm-hmm. Yep. And if you were to ask, like, hey, what company? So I'm Tesla, and I want to recommend a window film in my app, places for people to go. I don't even think Lumar has that type of I don't know, uniformity between dealers, but maybe in their Formula One program they do. There's the point of the heat gun. Is it to shrink it? Yes. But yeah, would I be fine with any one of those companies' films? Yeah. They all have good products. I was surprised XPEL got that Tesla deal. But let me ask you, who do you think else would be able to get it? Like, so if not XPEL, then who? I've seen too many other shops just vary so wildly. Like Tesla, Tesla is like the Apple of the car world. And so like even if you go into a Best Buy, you see like they have the Apple, they have all their same tables, all their same environment. They just keep things a certain way. $3M? You don't have to be fancy to be a 3M shop. 3M, you can like, they don't have that same type of control and uniformity. Not in their auto program. Like sheer brand awareness for film, sure, but not dealer program. All right, so what are we doing? We are shrinking. Okay, what happens if you don't shrink? Okay, so you see this, and then you see this. So this is all nice and flat, right? This is not nice and flat. So if I try and just push this down, I get fingers that pop back up. So if we translate that to installation, if I try and push that down on the inside, those are just gonna pop back up. So what I do is I run heat along those and literally shrink the film to fit the same curve as the glass. Do you reverse roll your windshields? Yes. And we're gonna do a windshield right after this. Did you start the live stream thing, or is it Detroit Tint Studios policy? That would be a funny policy if I required everybody to put a body cam on. It'd probably be good for business, though. No, it's a me thing. All right, we need a light. What's the setting on the heat gun? Hot, very hot, as high as it can get.
Yeah, yeah. Do it for like next Tuesday at 10.
The clear film is on. So we want to mold the film to fit the glass. And then we peel it and install it. But before we do that, we have to clean the inside of the window, or else it's going to be dirty. This is really interesting. Thanks for doing this stream. Yeah, man. I appreciate that. Look at you using Harbor Freight tool. They've been the best stick lights that I've come across. I haven't looked super hard in a while, though. But when did I come across the Icon light? Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago at this point. These were like 40 bucks. There was nothing else that compared to it. They get super bright, rechargeable, easy to get. Really nice lights. They do have some good stuff. I often forget Harbor Freight exists. But every time I pass one, I'm like, oh, I want to go in there. But then I have this problem of, like, I don't know what to get. I just like being in a Harbor Freight for a little while. It's always fun looking at stuff. But I don't work on cars other than tinting windows, so that's why. If you're like socket sets and hand tools and stuff like that, I haven't had to buy that stuff in a while. Does a Wagner heat gun hold up over time? Yes and no, but that's why I buy them. They're like throwaway heat guns. They're like 30 bucks. They'll last me anywhere between like 6 to 8 months. But it just depends on how much abuse that they get. But I've spent more on heat guns, and a lot of them just, I get the same lifespan out of. So you're either spending a lot of money on a heat gun or anywhere from like 30 to 50 bucks. Okay, what do we need to do? Let's move the seats forward. What's your type of car to own? I'm less of a car person. I just like something that makes sense for my life, but looks nice. Plus about performance. I don't really care much about performance. But one thing that we want to get, and this is less cool, I want to get a Sienna van again. So we're in an Explorer, and I have a Model 3. That's because prices went nutty for a little while. But as soon as our lease is up on this Explorer, we're going to trade it in and get a Sienna. I'm going to leave this. Or does this come out with that? Nope. No, it doesn't. This kind of stays out of my way. I like this back window. All right, so what do we got back here? We'll cover that. Microphone. Cadillac Blackwing. Yeah, that definitely looks cool. Why do I still have contamination even though I cleaned really good? You have contamination because of your install. Most of the dirt does not come from anything really but your installation. It's so easy to pick up dirt. And then, do I have enough back here? Kinda. 1, 2, 3. How you set the price? Call around, see where other people have set their price, and kind of go based off of that. Honestly, just see where your market is, and figure out how you want to fit in there. Because it'll be a range. There's like your average customer will hear a range from different shops, or they'll get a referral from a friend who called a bunch of shops. And so there'll just be like this known range in your area. And so you can choose to be at the upper side of that, or you can choose to be at the lower side of that, or somewhere in between. But if everybody's charging 500 and then you're charging like 1,000, you need to be real clear on why. Yep, I got some squeegees with a little bit of a reach to them.
11:32 a.m.
Oh, thanks, watch. Oh, this has that button there. I forgot about the button. This is so annoying to do with a phone. Is that a clay bar? Yes. All right, so what do we want to do? Soapy water. Is it gonna do water? There's the water. Are some of your tools on back order? Not really. Clay bars are good just for the back window. I mean, you can use them other places too. I used to use them along the top edge of door windows. But clay bars will help clean up the froster lines better than even a scrub pad will. What do you do with the brake light? I will typically tint right behind it. If they have a nice cutout on the window, wow, actually insane. Hang on. I'm doing this all with a phone in one hand. Okay, it might not be in my hand. Unless I've got 3 hands. But it definitely gets in the way a little bit. Do you do the side pillars as well, or do they have to ask? Yes, I'll do them. I should just not do them. Make them ask. Oops. Push here. Now, any brake lights that have a nice black border, that I can trim around. But if I don't have a nice black border, then I'm gonna tint behind the brake light. Very, very rare do I ever not cover a brake light. All right. I gotta figure out, there's just no good way to do it other than having somebody hold the phone. What squeegee did you use for cleaning the back window? That was an Orange Crush, but it's in a special handle. So this one, the squeegee is interchangeable, but this is called a Slim Slam. Nice thin profile there. So you can reach farther down on like your average back window. It basically replaces the side swipe for me. Bulldozer on a Camaro rear window wasn't doing it. It definitely does it. I don't use, there's like no other squeegee that really fits down there other than a Bulldozer. Have you heard of the Skyfall tint brand? No. Is that like... Is that 007? Tinting headlights? Oh, that's a vinyl skill. That is one skill I don't have. I've done a couple sets, but mostly for my own. Yeah, so I just never, I would pay to learn from somebody though, before I got into headlights. Like I could figure it out, but what I didn't realize until way later is people seam way more with vinyl than I thought they would. I thought like any type of funky headlight, taillight, I always thought you had to do them in one piece. Like, so for this for example, like this is, you got one long piece here, it kind of comes down and then it goes all the way down there. I don't want to do that. Headlight tinting is way easier. If you're good with vinyl. I mean, there are shops that definitely do them. It's just a vinyl skill. You're wrapping them instead of like tinting them. It looks good. Push out a little bit more water right at the end there. So yeah, if you're looking into window tint and you want to get your lights wrapped too, not every tint shop is going to do them. You're going to want to go with a vinyl shop typically. But it's worth asking, like if you pick a tint shop, it's worth asking if they do it. I assume you take the lights out to put the film on them? Actually, no. It's better to have them anchored. Because you're like pulling material and stretching it. If they're just sitting on a table, it's a lot harder to do, or can be anyways. A 21 Camaro, how much? Everything with the windshield, 450 carbon, 550 for the film that we're doing now, which is C2 ceramic, and then 650. We'll save this for the quarter windows. For the dual layer ceramic. I don't even feel like doing this. Let's go over to the plot. I've done so many quarter windows lately from the plotter. Can I just go cut them out quick? Don't forget to push out the water on the back window. Thank you. Will do. This is basically our version of knifeless tape, except we need a knife. So I can use stainless blades and trim on glass, but I do that less and less now. Reason is because it's very easy to still put a scratch in a window. So I do it so I can see the border, but mainly so when I trim, I'm cutting on the tape instead. I'm using a red dot knife with a stainless steel blade in it. So I got 2 patterns now. This one will go, I think, on the other side. I think that's the way I have it folded, but I'll double check. Yeah, this goes on the other side. The tape is called Glass Aid Cut Guard. See, this goes right there, right down there. Out of all the tools you use, which one can you no longer live without? All of them. Because there's unique situations. So like this one, for example, that corner, I can still hit with a bulldozer, but see at the very edge where the plastic meets, like right in here, it starts pinching. So you can get away with using a bulldozer, but something that'll work really well is this. It's a tail fin. You can smush it down farther, and the pressure actually helps it. So it's really easy to just squeegee that whole bottom area. And then same thing on this side. So I used this for most of it, but there came a point where in those corners, even this starts to get wedged a little bit. So then you start moving to like the thinner squeegees. Daniel asked a very important question. I must have scrolled up. What's the question? Do you do chrome window tint? I definitely could. I could do some architectural on it, but it's just not very common. So there aren't any major companies selling a reflective film made for cars, but you can definitely do architectural on it. How do you tell which side has the peel? A lot of times I'm just going to peel the corner, like with my teeth, and I'll actually check it. So what do we need? So we have this. We need this. We can use both of these actually. One of them has a razor blade. One of them has a squeegee blade. This is awesome. Thank you. GeoShield price per roll. So you can find it on the site. Not trying to keep it hidden, but they have a lot of different films and roll sizes. So like the 36 for this all the way around. Just check the site. How do you peel it? I always have a hard time peeling it. It's a little hard to show because the phone's on my neck, but I'll take the film and I'll just shift it in between my teeth a little bit. Yes, I bite it. I just take a nibble. Get hungry. But it's not like I'm putting an impression in it. I just want to make that point clear. So like you can bite it and like leave little marks on it with your teeth. Don't do that. Just shift it a little bit. Ba-ba-da-ba. Perfect. Have you used Johnson's window film? No. Not really. Very briefly. There's a shop that I was at for maybe like a week early on. They used Johnson's window film. I just don't, that's a brand, so there's a few brands like that where like they've been around for a long time. I don't hear bad things. They're just like not very talked about, and I forget that they even exist. Wow. I have to put 2 pieces of tape on the tint and then I pull it apart. The 2 most popular ways are going to be either with like your fingernail. So one thing that you can do is just squeegee it down to a surface, and I don't really have great nails for this either. But see, and then you can peel the tint that way. But I'll see if I can just show a reflection here too, a little bit. Or maybe on a window that's already tinted. So I'll take it. I'll literally do this. I just shifted in between my teeth some. Okay, sprayer. Let's do that. I was stuck for hours trying to pull it with my nails. Well, if it makes you feel better. It used to take me I used to not be able to do that. I would 100% always rely on peeling it with my teeth. And then, I don't know, just keep practicing. It does help when the film is like actually squeegeed, laying flat on a surface, because then it grabs, like if there's some water behind it, it'll grab that surface a little bit better, so it's easier to peel. Okay. Have you heard of Tint Club? What's your thoughts about it? It's not wouldn't be my go-to film. I don't like the branding. So like, the film might be fine enough. There's definitely a lot more attention on it now. It always seems like there's something that pops up out of the woodworks that gets a lot of attention randomly. That's the latest. Their prices are going to be really attractive for a lot of people. I just hate the branding. If a customer asks what film that I have, I don't want to have to say Tint Club. I felt the same way about Tint Depot. It's like Tint Depot's got legitimately good films. Are you the only tint guy here? No. But he's working on software right now. Bro, scaring the company on his back. So, like, behind that wall, we have our store. Oh, I need this still. I gotta put this on the front seat. All right, so we did everything but the windshield, so now we're gonna do the windshield. Why don't you always use the plotter to make the cuts? Because if you get too dependent on one thing, you miss out on the other one. I hand cut for a long time, and I still hand cut plenty. One reason I like doing it is because it's a tailor fit window. I know what that pattern is going to look like on that window. So I don't have to worry about a top edge not fitting. With plotters, they're great for production. Where they lacked for a long time, it was generally just like actual fitment of those patterns. So the top edge wouldn't be quite as nice. Sometimes there would be gaps on the side. There'd be like something that it's like you cut out a pattern, you get it cut, shrunk, ready to install, you throw it on there, and then you just realized you wasted a bunch of time because that pattern doesn't fit. But software for certain suites have gotten a lot better. Computer Cut's been pretty decent, and Core is the other one. All good. Let's get a towel thrown in here too. Do you do wraps too? Nope, just window tinting. Ooh, can I use this? I'd rather use this. Do you turn their cars off or keep them on? We turn them off when we're done. No, we leave them on so we can roll the windows up or down. Like the engines are off though. But we have to be able to roll the windows up or down. This is like, I didn't feel like taking the time to do this before I started the stream, but I wish I did. Like windshields and back windows with a chest-mounted phone is never ideal. How does this thing come off? Probably pretty easy. Ooh, it's like splits in half. But which half goes first? That I actually don't know. Huh. It goes this way. Oh yeah, it did go wonky for a sec. Must be like a sideways issue. Well, okay. Ugh, fucking GM plastic. There's a clip holder. I know. Just It reminds me of the Chevy ones where they have the thing that comes around in the center, and then sometimes they'll just like pop apart, and sometimes you really have to like, gah. So we're gonna put that up out of the way. I don't mind the housing. I just would rather have the mirror off if I can do it. But I don't wanna. I don't need to. It's just it's nice to have this off, but I would much rather have the time. The car keeps shutting off. So like on this one, it's a GM. So if you just push the accessory button, it'll have a timer. It'll run for maybe like 5-10 minutes, and then it'll shut off. You can press and hold the button on GMs, and then they'll stay on longer. So that's how we kept this one from shutting off. 50's going on this windshield. Why does the mirror need? The mirror doesn't, and just the mirror gets in the way. So when they're easy to take off, I'll take them off. So it's got a simple plastic housing, but that plastic housing is being annoying. So rather than spend an extra 5 minutes trying to remove it, I'm just gonna not waste the time and work around it. I have 35 on a personal vehicle. I've had a request for 20 on a windshield. Oh, I've had a request for 20 on a windshield. 20's dark. It's nice. I'm not gonna say I haven't done it. We just like to not do it whenever possible. There's just some shades that, you know, most of the time 20 wouldn't cause an issue, but it's those, oh, somebody's a little bit distracted, bad conditions, hard to see. That's when something bad can happen. Yeah, if the battery is dying, especially quick, it's just their batteries. It's the type of cars that you're tinting, unfortunately. Your average newer vehicle doesn't do that. we go. This is the flattest windshield I've done in a little while. How much waste do you go through in one vehicle? Typically not very much. Today we ruined a door window and then another set of door windows. So more than usual. Why are you doing the outside? How does the wipers not destroy it? Because it's very durable. How do you work around a dot matrix on a windshield? Oh, anything that you can see through, you cover. So on this one, we have a little dot matrix border that goes around. So we just follow that. But if this was just a dotted area with a little mirror tab, I'm just going to cut out the small mirror tab, cover the rest. Do you do a lot of ceramic tint where it's clear on the outside or clear on the inside, dark on the outside? Yep. Yes, I do. Should we explain that or should we just leave them? Leave them. Explain. Explain, leave them. Okay, so there's unfortunately no magic film. There's no magic film that is completely clear on the inside, dark on the outside, especially a ceramic film. There was a meme. Basically, like any tint is going to look darker on the outside and it's going to look lighter on the inside. But yes, we do install a lot of ceramic films. What temperature is your heat gun at? It's on high. Those cuts are crisp. Thanks. Crispy. That was a sneeze. It wasn't me, though. You should say bless you. Oh, this is 50. Oh, he put that. That's right. Midway point's over there. Bless you. Thanks. Mark, chat said bless you. Reminds me of my dad's sneeze. My dad has a crazy ass sneeze too. This is louder than that for sure. You could be in the basement. You could hear him all the way upstairs. It was like an announcement. It's like, holy shit. I don't have a sneeze like that. Where did dad sneeze come from? Aren't most films from China nowadays? No, actually. China does make window film. And there's definitely stuff that comes out of there. But they don't have a very good track record for window film. So a lot of installers like me, we use films from either Korea, India, some American. But those are going to be like the main places that they come from. South Korea makes a lot of window films. Do you have a discount code for Geo? No. No, right now, 313 Tint will save you 5% on tools, but just the tools. It's because a guy told me GeoShield is Chinese film. No, they're definitely not. They're just trying to sell you a cheaper film. All right, let me finish tucking in that towel. Let's take a blade, scrubby. I'll skip it today. Dang, don't take it so personally, man. Don't let it ruin your day. Okay. So this is actually a really good example of a windshield I'm probably gonna pull the towel back on. So like this area here, I don't have hardly any space right here. It presses pretty tight in just a couple spots here. So like right here. So the problem with that is I'm not going to be able to tuck the film in there very nice. And we ruined a windshield the other day because of corners, so why does the towel go there? Because I like having a towel that covers the dash and then you can tuck it all the way into the edge. But these things you want to use as a way to keep everything nice and safe. But if it causes you to screw up a windshield, then it doesn't really do its job, right? So right before we go to install this, I'm just going to shuffle the towel back a little bit. On a Hyundai Tucson. That's how I would pronounce it. That's what my chat said. And then we'll do a little better job of cleaning down there too. Just because they have like a heads up right there. Go to the other side. The towel's too thick? No, the glass is too tight. I mean, it's a combo. But a thinner towel. I have one that's thinner than this. It wouldn't really fix that situation. Awkward. There we go. Is that your favorite combo? Pink clean and the thin handle? Yes. Yep, that one. And then we'll grab... Is it not here? It's not here. Where did I put it? What does the razor do? It scrapes the surface. So just because you squeegee it doesn't mean that the glass is going to be clean. There's just general buildup and debris on it. So I'm going to squeegee this. Soapy water, yes. Some installers say they can't adhere the tint to the dots. Yeah, they're right. So the only way that it's going to stick is if the glue on the film was thicker. I still kind of want a side swipe here. It'll cause damage to the audio thing if you don't put a towel. Yeah, it definitely can. All right, one more thing. I need a towel. I'm thinking about getting core, film and vinyl design let me down. Welcome to the club. I probably annoy people every time I say this, but I don't know how people like that software. I just don't. Yeah, it's cheaper, but I hated the patterns that I got out of that software, so I haven't looked at it in quite a while at this point. Maybe it's better. Maybe they updated patterns that were bad from when I tried it, but I wasn't really confident. If you have a decal on the outside, will it affect shrinking? It can a little bit. You can go over most of them. But if I have a sticker in the lower corner, I can get past it. But if I have like a bunch of lettering across the window, depending on how curved and where that lettering falls, like sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's not. I'd have to see it. All right, that's all good. I'm gonna hop over to the other side. They use it to cut out a scion. Hi. It wasn't even close. Ew, that's no good. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this back. Nice. My friend's a heavy smoker. Was charged an extra $50 to clean the window. I mean, yeah, not surprising. It would have to be really bad for me to do it, but yeah, like it had to have been exceptionally bad. Because we have to clean your windows, and even if it's in a pretty poor state, I don't let that stuff get me too much. But you genuinely can have situations where there's just so much shit build up on a window that's like, okay, this isn't just like your average cleanup. All right, so we're gonna reverse roll this one. I could see vaping being worse. Oh, for sure. Either one of them could be really bad. I mean, I've definitely had cars where, yeah, you just like you're scraping a window and you just have like tar running down your arms. It's gross. But some of that's gonna honestly like depend on what you charge. So if you wonder why most vehicles I get are in like a fairly clean state, it's because of what we charge. So we're gonna roll this up. I feel separating the tint is the hardest part for me. If that's the hardest part, then you're doing pretty good. Because that's not a hard problem to solve. But yeah, it is funny how it gets difficult for some people. Grab a bunch of squares. So if you just take all your scraps and just actively try and like pick away and peel all those scraps, you'll get way better at it super quick. Yeah, if you're never thought about that, if you're hung up on any particular situation, try and set yourself up to practice that very quickly back to back to back. So if you're like, I suck at cutting top edges, well, take a scrap piece of film, put it over the top edge of the door, cut it, shift it up a couple inches, cut it, shift it up, cut it, and just keep doing that over and over again. Oh my God. There we go. So right here, this is where I like the mirror to be gone. So it's not like it's gonna ruin the windshield or anything, but like here, where's the end of my sprayer? Push it this way, and then you can get some of it unrolled. But you see how this has to kind of come down much farther? I don't like having to do that. So if I can remove the mirror, I'll do that every time. But as soon as the mirror's a little bit of a pain in the butt to remove, I can just work around it. It's fine. Oops. It is when it goes sideways. Why does it do that? There we go. Bro, you've been doing this for like 3 hours? Yeah, but like you paid $550 to get the whole thing done in ceramic. So excuse me if I spend a little bit more time. Los Santos could do it in 2 seconds. Yeah, you're not wrong. They could do a full engine swap too. But then you might get shot leaving, so... You know, speed and security. C2 or Pro Nano, which is okay to start with. Dude, I would start with carbon. There we go. Like, that's the thing. This all gets explained to people before we even get started. The only people that get butthurt are either other tinters or people that don't have the attention span. All right. Did we bring the green one? We did. No, we didn't. Ugh, we'll put it back in the drawer, I think. Okay, make sure that we're all covered, everything unrolled. Have you done a windshield on a Venza? 2024? Probably not. I don't get that many Toyotas here. If I do, Camrys and like Tacomas. Might as well go all out. It's the same ticket regardless. No, I don't agree with that. The more you stand out, like, you're not wrong, it's the same ticket. But the more you stand out, at least around here anyways, you could have 50 and never get hassled for it. Most of it's just about blending in. So the more attention you draw to yourself, the more likely you would be to be pulled over if you didn't have a note for it. Like this customer, he said once he gets it, he's gonna go back to his doctor and he's gonna get a note for it. So he'll be fine. He can do whatever shit he wants. Just for beginners, I mean, this whole live stream is full of tips. What are you having problems with? Best tint to use. I mean, I look Geo. They're the best for me. A cutting part? Cutting's definitely tricky. We can break it down and make it a little simpler. But look at the Sharpie method. You might be more inclined to try it that way. You don't necessarily need to do hand cutting 100% on the car. Nice. How hard are you pressing? Yes. Enough? I'm not trying to break a windshield. So like moderate pressure. So like this, I don't know. If this was very light, like you can see the bend in the squeegee here, that's light. I'm doing like this. So yeah, we're just getting more flex there. I couldn't tell you how hard that is though. So I'm working on putting a private Tint community together. It's kind of like up and running. I haven't added anything to it yet. But I want to probably just do like, I'll have some videos on there. It'll be more beginner focused. Like we have the big Facebook group. So if anything, you can go there, ask questions. Lots of people will chime in. But I want to do like group calls. So like Zoom discussions. Something that we could just like leave while we're at the shop. So like you could just like pop in and ask a question, even when we're not live. If we're around, we'll answer. I think that'd be cool. What's the purpose of ceramic tint? It doesn't look tinted. Well, we got a white towel there. Once we get it all closed up, it's a 50%, so it's not gonna look super dark, but it will look darker once we get everything closed up. (2014) CRV, thinking about, this customer might have been off of TikTok, actually. I want to skip to the results. Yeah, me too, actually. What are your thoughts on Geo, C2 ceramic, and C2 carbon? They're great. We're installing the C2 ceramic. I like them lots. There we go. Okay, cool. So the biggest difference between like the carbon line and ceramic is really just this. The ceramic is going to block more heat. The carbon is going to block additional heat in the darker shades. So the darker you go with carbon, the more heat that it's going to block, but it's a more economical way of tinting your car. Just a lower cost material. The C2 ceramic adds a ceramic layer to that carbon film, which is why it costs more. And it'll block more heat than the carbon, and it'll do it in a broader range of shades. So you can even do it in lighter shades and it'll block heat. I just dropped my truck off to do 5% all around. What do you think? Nice. I think it'll look good. It's a little darker than I'd go personally, but dude, we do plenty of 5. I'm an old man now. I drive around in shades that I feel is not going to get me hassled. But my favorite was like 35 on a windshield and like 15 or 20 on the sides. The most popular percent for us by far is 20. And then just because of the types of clients that we get, it's honestly a coin flip. I think we do more darker than lighter. But like you're seeing right now, 35 on the front doors, 50 on the windshield, super common for us to do. Those are probably used. Yeah, it did turn out really, really nice. Windshield looks good. Do you guys know Sprayway has a lemon? But it's not it's not as good as the regular. How much would you charge to remove a bubbled up tint? Just curious. A bubbled up back window, generally 150 to 200. The 50 doesn't look like 50. It does. It smells like lemon pledge. That's exactly what it smells like. The 50 is definitely 50. Once I get it all closed up, you'll see. You'll see. I'll show them. That almost scared me. What did we break? Use Sprayway on car windows? Yeah, we actually give a can to our customers. It's an ammonia-free glass cleaner. Any ammonia-free glass cleaner is safe. Sprayway's our favorite. What up, Doe? Angel with the 5. Yay. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's super nice. So we're pretty much done. Just gonna wipe things down, make sure everything's touched up. I'll take a heat gun, look for any little adjustments that we gotta make. With geofilm, this was C2 ceramic. Do the carbon and ceramic have pretty much the same durability? Mm-hmm. Yep. Both of them are going to have the same warranty. Like, it's kind of annoying because a lot of films will get sold and make the higher tiers look significantly better in certain ways, like durability, scratch coat, blah, 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 blah. It's like, honestly, I wouldn't even know how to measure any of that. A good film, doesn't matter the material it's made out of, it's just going to be a good film. It really comes down to how long are they going to last, because any light abrasive thing can put a scratch in. It doesn't matter how much you spend on your film, really. Tint sensitive. It's like just a plastic layer that you put on your windows, so it can get scratched up if you're not careful. You're a great tinter, like listening to you. Thank you, I appreciate that. Looks good. But can you tell the difference from carbon and ceramic? It's going to be in the amount of heat that they block. We can do that in a shop with a meter, but you should feel a difference with what you're driving. So, like, I think the most practical thing is face your car towards the sun, have the sun beam through that window, roll your window down, feel the heat coming out, with the sun hitting your skin. And then roll your window up. And so with a good film, you're gonna feel a pretty dramatic difference. I accidentally used an ammonia glass cleaner. Did I screw my windows up? Likely no. So I'll recommend it. It's what you'll hear talked about the most. Using it briefly, it's not going to do anything to hurt it. It's really over an extended period of time. So if you're always using ammonia glass cleaners, what can happen is the ammonia can eat the hard coat on the film. So it's just a harsh chemical. I tried to do that. Like, I took a piece of film here of Geo and I kept using an ammonia cleaner every day. And eventually I just threw the piece of film out. I didn't see any wear on it. Did we do it? Oh yeah, we did it. Looks good. There's just that little plug right at the top. I still need to trim around it. I was letting it kind of dry out before I did that. Alrighty. That's gonna pretty much wrap it up for today. Looks good. So we did 50 on the windshield, 35 on the front, and then 20 on the rear. Let's close this up. See, does that look a little darker now? Not crazy. I got a windshield. We had a BMW that we did on stream. handful of months ago. He accidentally scratched the windshield, so he's bringing that in sometime early afternoon. So that'll get replaced. But I got some other stuff I got to do. So thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you guys.